Hi everybody, welcome back. I want to talk about my experience so far living in Arizona. I've been out here for 6 years, since 2017, and I'm a Chicago native. I'm pretty happy being out here compared to back home. The heat is pretty brutal right now. Like lately, it's been around almost 110 for quite a while now, and the heat is pretty brutal in the summertime, but kind of treated like we treated winter back in Chicago when it's real cold. So you had 30 below wind chill. We had quite a bit in January and February, sometimes even March. It was still pretty cold. We just stay inside, and that's what we do out here when it gets really hot in the summer. Besides like the pools and the water parks, the splash pads, we just stay inside in the summer, spend more time indoors. And I guess I'm more adjusted to the heat. I'll take the heat. I'm not a big, huge fan of the extreme heat. 80 is pretty, 75, 80, that's warm enough for me, but I'll take the heat over the cold. And all my relatives back in Chicago, they must have, I never really got used to it all the years, the 38 years I lived there, but they said they'll take the cold over the heat any day. Well, I'm like, oh, I guess they're telling me I could have it out here. Like, yeah, you can have the cold back there. And I'm from the Phoenix suburbs, and there's a lot of diversity in the area that I live in. Very few people. I've met thousands of people since I've been out here, and probably less than 100 of them are Arizona natives. And I found everybody, it is kind of it's getting to be more liberal. It was a conservative state. We do have open carry out here. Um, I don't really care the state's liberal or conservative either way. It is getting to be more liberal, which that's fine with me. There's actually a lot of people from all over, all walks of life. A lot of people from, obviously, I'm from Chicago. I've met tons of Chicago natives out here, and a lot of people are moving here from, Chicago's pretty liberal, and there's a lot of people moving here from the Seattle area, Washington, and Oregon, and California, all liberal states, liberal areas. Not sure about Colorado. A lot of people moving here to Colorado too, and also Minnesota, the Dakotas, even some from Michigan, some from Texas, Ohio, and Indiana. As far, not too many people from the East Coast. I think I met one New Yorker, or a couple of New Yorkers, but as far as the East Coast, it seems like Indiana, Ohio is where it ends for the most part, as far as people moving out here. But I really like the diversity. It's like I said, it's rare to meet an Arizona native, and everyone's pretty friendly. It's nice to meet people from different walks of life. Like I feel like the town I grew up in, back in Illinois, I lived about an hour west of the downtown Chicago, and there were just like so many people that were native to that area. Like everybody was an Illinois native, and a lot of the people in that town were native to that town. Some of them still live there to this day. People I grew up with are born there, and they're still raising. It is a nice town, don't get me wrong, but it's like they're still living. It's just, I like diversity. I just didn't feel like there was enough diversity there. It just got kind of, a lot of people said it was kind of boring, and I felt it was kind of boring. I think it was more exciting out here. And people, like I said, everyone's been really friendly. As someone, I did some research before wife and I moved out here, and I heard like the Arizona natives, which they're few and far between, at least around this area. I live about an hour southeast of Phoenix, and I was told that, yeah, like the Arizona natives, they really don't like all the diversity, all the people moving out here, and maybe they just don't like complainers. I don't complain, but some people complain about, oh, there's not Chicago style pizza, there's not we're getting more of that now, but there's no Italian beef places, a place to get a good Chicago style Italian beef, Italian sausage. We're starting to get that now. We've got Chicago style pizza restaurants in Portillo's, which is a Italian. It's like a Chicago type place with Chicago style hot dogs, Italian beef, Italian sausage, things like that. So we're getting more of that. We're getting them a lot more people here from Chicago, like I said. And like I said, I've talked to the Arizona natives, and they're very friendly. They never seemed hostile about me being from somewhere else. And I guess maybe they just gotten used to it. Maybe it was just been a rude awakening. Maybe it was in the earlier days of the transitioning that people had issues with it, but I've never had issues with anybody. I mean, there's assholes no matter where you go. I've ran into my fair share of assholes, but not in that aspect. Nobody ever seemed pissed off that I moved here from somewhere else, and didn't seem like pissed off about the diversity. So Yeah, I think that's all I have to say about that. I'm pretty happy here. I'm glad my wife and I moved out here when we did. The inflation, I'm not sure about the other states, but inflation with the house market has really skyrocketed out here the last 5 to 6 years that we've been out here. Interest rates have gone up. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of inflation in the economy in general. I'm not sure about the house market in particular in other states, but I know in Arizona it's gone way up. I'm actually glad my wife and I moved out here when we did. We probably couldn't afford to move out here now from Illinois with the resources we had. I'm glad we had the resources we did when homes were less expensive out here than they are now. And we live in maybe one of the less expensive areas, so I can't imagine what it is in the more expensive areas. Definitely out of my range. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Comment, question, like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you all real soon with another great video. Have a great week, everybody. Talk to you all soon. Bye.